Okay, we are live. We can start.
Okay. Okay. Good evening, sir. I think today we all know that today is Bone and Joint Day, the 4th of August. Each year we actually observe the Bone and Joint Day, and this current running week, that is from 1st August to 2nd August, we observe the Bone and Joint Week. So this year is no exception. So we are actually, this year's theme is very nice thing which actually touches my heart as well, is about most of the times we usually put a theme for the benefit of our patients, like osteoporosis or something like that, which all benefits our patient. But this time I think it's a good thing that we have started to think ourselves, and this year's IOA theme is save life and save one. I think it's very important that we need to think about not only our physical health but also about our mental health, and we need to concentrate to give some time and improve our family as well as financial aspect also. So we need to look as a holistic approach towards ourselves. Its time has come. And also this year's theme include save one, that is the idea is to save most of the accident victims which are actually which can't reach to their doctors in the golden period. So we need to save those patients, and we need to catch those patients as much as possible. And for this, I think probably the IOA has very rightly pointed out that we need to train those actually people who actually encounter all those, like young children on uh, and the traffic peoples actually who are actually there on the roads, and probably they are the person, if you know that basic life support, how to give that those patient, and why the golden hour is important. If they know that and if they actually get rid of their, I mean, hesitancy to bring those seriously injured patients to the hospital, then probably we will be able to save a lot of I mean lives. So this webinar is based on that theme only. So I think we have our chief guest, President of IOA, Dr. B. Shankar. I think we all know him. He doesn't need any, I mean, introduction. I think we have observing him doing live surgeries for more than a decade now. So I think, welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And the other our chief guest is our secretary of the IOA, Dr. Naveen Thakkar. We also know him for quite a long time. He is a very good friend of ours, and he has already developed a lot of implants and peritrochanteric fractures. So, welcome, sir, on this
Thank
auspicious
you.
day.
Thank
We
you. Thank
have
you.
we have with us our very senior sir, Professor Dr. Kanchan Bhattacharya, sir, the president of Wboa, and our dynamic secretary, Dr. Parthu Sarathi Sarkar. And
Thank you.
we have our various stalwarts of orthopedics in I mean, in West Bengal, like Dr. Rajiv Chatterjee, ji sir, Dr. I mean MM Rai sir, Dr. Indrajit sardar sir, and Dr. Vikas Kapoor sir. So they will be, I mean, giving the lectures. So before that, I would like to I mean, invite Dr. Shiv Shankar sir to say a few words on this theme, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Let me congratulate the West Bengal Orthopedic Association, headed by Professor Dr. Kanchanda and Secretary Partsarthi, along with all the active people like Rajiv Chatterjee, Indrajit Sardar, Rajiv Raman, Sunit Hazra, Sanjay Keska, so many people that they are doing a wonderful activity during the Bone and Joint Day activity. Friends, when I was thinking about a theme for the Bone and Joint Week, it is always coming in my mind that it's time that we have to change the Hippocrates oath. Hippocrates oath is more than 2,500 years old. That was the era where there was no notes, no money, no donation to be given to become a doctor. And the rules are still held, and we take the same oath when we pass out of the college. And people expect us to do the charity. We don't get the due credit for the studies we have done. There is so many things happening against the doctors. We are now under the purview of consumer protection law. Now, people, be it doctors, blue and white if something wrong happens. So all these things only because we are guided by a law which is 2500 years old, and we are treating a person now after 2500 years. So there is a mismatch between what we the oath we undertake as well as so and the present condition. So it's the time that we really rewrite the Hippocrates oath, and instead of patient coming in front of me first, I should come in front of that. My health is more important than the patient health. If I am there, then only I can take care of the others. That is the reason why I thought of giving this theme, save self. So it's not just the physical health of the person, it's the mental health, financial health, family health. Everything is very, very important. Only once you are strong in all the aspects, then you can be strong in your office also doing good job. So take care of yourself first, and I'm happy that you are all doing this activity in that line. And since it's just a 1 hour webinar, I don't want to take too much of time out of this, and I congratulate all of you for doing this activity. And regarding the save one, we already have reached more than 50,000 people, and Dr. Naveen Thakkar will be doing on Saturday, where this talk will be Dr. Kanabar will be giving a talk on golden hour and the, how to treat a roadside accident victim, that will be transmitted live across Gujarat in all the schools. More than about 10 lakh students will be listening when this will be transmitted. So I must thank each one of you who has been involved in this activity, both for the help of the doctors as well as for the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the nice words. I think, may I now invite Dr. Naveen Thakkar to say a few words?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for invitation. West Bengal Orthopedic Association is a very vibrant orthopedic association. They have stalwarts and they have very good innovations. So we congratulate West Bengal Orthopedic Association for all bone and joint day activity. So we are eagerly waiting to listen the personal experience of each speaker. So I will not take much time, and I congratulate and thank you very much to West Bengal Orthopedic Association and all stalwarts. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the brief introduction. I think, may I now request Dr. Kanchan Bhattacharya, sir, to say a few words, sir?
Good evening, everybody. I welcome Dr. Shivashankar and Dr. Naveen Thakkar to be a part of this meeting, and I'm so glad that they have found time to be with us. Very happy to hear your kind words from West Bengal Orthopedic Association, and I'm looking forward to the talks to be given by the stalwarts coming after me. So let's go ahead and get a good evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So may I now invite our Secretary, Dr. Partha Sarthi, to say a few words.
Thank you, Sunita, and welcome, sir, our President, sir, Dr. B. Shivashankar, sir, and our Dynamic Secretary, Dr. Naveen Thakkar, and our stalwarts of West Bengal, and all the members who are viewing the program. I must say one or two words that the theme is wonderful, and we have got a very good message from the all over the people, those who are targeted, the students, the police personnel, and the common man who are already praised the program. We have last evening we have a program in the press club, and before that day we have a program with the IG traffic within their headquarters, and in that program all over the West Bengal we have 70 IPS officers. They have joined with this program, and they are very much anxious, and they had understood the problem, that this is the very wonderfully solved problem that can be solved. The person can be trained, and then the person can be a savior. So the theme is very good, and so we are doing the job. And I have to mention our ortho clubs. We have 15 ortho clubs, and they all are celebrating these activities and their own health and related, and the training programs, and in the Rotary Club, and everywhere the program is operating in all over the West Bengal. It is actually a pan West Bengal program. So thank you. I will not take much time. Thank you all. Thank you for all these cooperation we have got to observe this bone and joint day. Thank you, IOA. Long live West Bengal Orthopedic Association. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Partha. So without much wasting time, let's proceed. And may I invite Dr. Vikas Kapoor sir to present something about financial health, how we can improve our financial health. Uh, Dr.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me,
Yes,
Sunit?
yes, yes.
So I'm trying to share my screen.
Okay.
Uh, I'm not getting the link. It is not working, it seems.
There is a green button down. Share
Yes,
screen.
sir.
You click
Sir,
on that.
I know, sir, that it's not. I know. Uh, so now it is showing entire screen. So I'll click on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where we are all
So
seen, you can, yeah, click on that. Yes.
here I am. Right. So can you hear me, all of you, sir?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. So thank you very much. This talk actually has been sort of invited. We spoke in an arthroplasty meeting, and I think my colleagues have been gracious enough to ask me to speak again on occasion of Awareness in Bone and Joint Week. So financial planning is we have seen a lot of things happen in last 2 years, and we have also understood that we are probably not as well prepared financially as we should have been in past, and we should always try to do something which is good for us, society, and the family. So the basic question is, as Robin Sharma wrote, "Who will cry when you die?" And that is the reality of life. That this is what we need to sort of understand in our lives and prepare for the future. So the pandemic has given us a lot of lessons. Now these lessons are even when the world is sleeping, we would be in the war zone. We have realized in orthopedics, but pandemic has made us understand it for the sake of our lives and livelihood. Besides, our work is our worship that we all believe, and we believe, and we are here with our leaders in IOA for this. But it is our nemesis also. We end our lives working nowadays, and we have worked so hard to come out of this crisis. I hope that we are out of it now, but there is a third wave is waiting to happen. So we have several talents, and we proudly have flaunted it in the past year. We have written poetries, we have sang songs, we have given YouTube, awareness programs. We have had so many things. Then why do we shy away as doctors discussing money and planning? It is ingrained in our lives that everything in this world we do is for charity and noble cause. It is for charity, it is for noble cause, but at the end of the day, we must understand that when it comes to our own lives, we can't play around with the responsibility which we have towards our family and our dear friends and the society at large. So we need to protect ourselves first before we start and thinking of protecting others. It's like the aircraft when they tell you that before making the mask to be worn to the side passenger, you wear the mask yourself. So this is a very important learning which we get from that aircraft lesson. So why do we need to patronize ourselves? Why are we a society? Which is of or for charity only? Why are we always worried about if somebody knows about our we want to save money or we want to make our own financial planning? Then why are we trying to sort of hide this? And why are we trying to be create a fund? Like, are we abject failures in our career that we are not able to save enough for the rainy day to take care of our needs and our family? Why are we actually behaving as if we are poor souls, when every other work and profession has a way to look after themselves and create a fund for themselves? So we need to have that empowerment. We have to teach our children who are becoming orthopedic surgeons or who are coming into the profession of medicine how to save for the rainy day and not to let yourself be dependent on others or your family be a dependent on others, so that they have to turn to various small charities which various friends and associations would give. It will never be enough, believe me, for what the family would need at the time of dearth and difficulty. So do we need to learn lean on the friends when and as we are alive, for our families. If we don't do that, then why after our death or our demise do we need to have a, we do not, if we have a plan, we will be able to provide while we are living. And that is where the training of our post graduation also should happen, that look, now that you have earned your first bread, you should start understanding how to plan your finances, so that tomorrow if something happens, and if your parents are dependent, later your wife and children are dependent, you should be able to look after them, and you should be having, go away with this from this world, not only by doing good deeds for people, but making sure that the plan and your family is good. So we just should not try to please social media and play lip services to the fact that, oh, we have done this surgery, we have done that surgery, this patient is walking. Are patient will walk. If you operate, patient will walk. What is the big deal? Well, if you do, these are all things which people are just, you won't believe it. People don't even remember. If you write the correct things on social media, I think people will remember. The message has to be going to public to understand the problem which they face. And I think we also need to, amongst the peers, create a group where we can solve each other's problems, not by giving something, but by actually propagating a mindset and proper learning. So doctors' life goals and results begetted out of those goals are mostly these. So every skill which we acquire gives us satisfaction. That, oh, I have acquired this skill. I can do Elizarov surgery well. I can do joint replacement well. I can do arthroscopy well, spine surgery well, minimally invasive, telescope, this, that, or robotics, all that. It gives us satisfaction. And this recognition and satisfaction gives us ego. So we start getting, okay, I have achieved so much in life. There are 20 people calling me for lectures. I've become this, I've become that. No, sir. What is important? Then we earn money and we start feeling proud that, look, this is what I have achieved, and this is, but actually, am I earning money, and actually, am I able to properly keep it? So I start buying the comforts of life. I start buying a car which is bigger than what I can afford. It is a car which would be like, I'll be paying 1 lakh rupees per month for an S class, for a moving around in the city and showing off. But technically, we need to understand that complacency should not come once we have the comfort. We should know what to do. And ownership begets greed. So once we have one, we want another one. We want a bigger one. We want a better one. So unless we have our finances sorted out, we should not be doing that. And acquiring too much at a young age may become a problem, and that is what leads to a downfall. So if we don't teach our children and younger generation, which has already, we have lost 1,500 doctors in this country. It is our responsibility as a society of orthopedic surgeons to get this into the heads of our juniors and our trainees also. And accumulation begets false sense of security. You have money, you keep it at home, you keep it in a bank, and you start feeling very happy. It does not grow. So sometimes something which happens may leave you with a corpus of money which has not grown. It has probably not been able to give what your children would need after 18 or 20 years, what your wife or your parents might need at a different time. So we all have to understand that life is an instantaneous event. What we are planning for tomorrow may not happen today. It may not happen the way we want it to happen tomorrow. So the commonest doctor materialistic dreams. I, as a middle class boy who has just not, who comes from a simple background, who has no doctor in the family, nowhere. So first thing, what are the material dreams which a doctor has? His first dream is to graduate from a bicycle to a motorcycle to a car. Now that is the standard problem and the standard dream which every doctor has. Before doing anything, I must have a four-wheeler so that I can do my work nicely and practice. Then the second is that I am living in a rented apartment. I am moved from one city to another. I settle down. I want a house. I want a flat. So every time, these are the standard dreams which all of us have had, unless, of course, we have been blessed with a rich background with parents, doctors, etc., etc. But that is only 5 to 10% of the people. 90% of boys and girls who are actually becoming doctors are from very, very average and simple families, as all of us have been. So own a clinic is after this. Most of the times, once you have a house security, a car security, you want to have a place which you can call your own, where you practice and you can sort of build up your own reputation and work. and that also needs investment. Now, this is a good investment, but it comes a slightly delay. Most of the times we need a job, and then we build a hospital, which is an ideal situation, but it doesn't happen in life of all the surgeons. It happens only in life of 5% or 2% of people. Rest of them work for others, which I am coming to later. But a common doctor, more than 95% of the doctors are working for others. It may be a businessman, it may be a colleague doctor, or a consortium of doctors, etc., or a trust. They are used to as conduits for growth of the business and organization and their own colleagues. They are rarely taken as partners. So the first thing we must understand, every institution we work in, we must have some amount of ownership. If you don't have an ownership is not just by giving money or taking money. It should be empowerment, so that you are safe and secure in the future. Our government has started, and this I think IOS should be taking up in future also as a program, and I would be happy to participate in it. Governments promote average skill set, although they are blessed with the best. You see, there is a yojana which comes in, which will pay X thousand rupees to everybody who operates under that scheme. Now, for a person who has a 40-year experience in and done 25,000 surgeries, will have the same amount of remuneration as somebody who has done 5 surgeries. I am not saying somebody who has done 5 surgeries is less in as a mortal, but probably that is not the right way to go. We have to have a system which we have to promote, and I think big associations, strong associations, are actually the associations which are able to look after their doctors, and this is also a part of financial planning for security of the doctor. They are reimbursed at the discretion of the hospitals and policies, and not by experience and skills. Even the PPN packages, the insurance packages which are coming in, and we are all mute spectators, because smaller establishments find that, okay, I can manage in this. The corporate hospitals are, because other corporate hospitals are fighting each other, they are actually not able to create a joint front. The IMA, the other organizations are not talking on these things. You see, this is something which everybody has to take up. These are the causes which will give you financial security. These are the causes which are extremely important. The associations are we are all meant to empower our doctors who are working with us and make them grow. So how do we save for the rainy day? I am coming to very simple things. The commonest way for a young doctor who comes out is to buy house or property. This is their dream. They will invest in a house, and then this makes them the money safe, but the asset is immovable. There is a variable growth. Real estate may fall, and it has very poor liquidity. Tomorrow, if I need 50 lakh rupees, I can't go around selling a house which used to cost, supposed to cost 80 lakh rupees. If somebody says I can give you only 60 lakh, I'll have to sell it at 60 lakh. Now, that is the problem with owning too much of properties. You cannot liquidate the property. Now, that is what young children should understand, that property investment is probably thing which has to be done with your own pocket, with a certain percentage of money which you have, not with all the money. Bank FDs and bonds, the traditional doctors, the senior people especially, kept their money safe. They are averse to risk investments. They keep the money in bonds and FDs, which have a lock period or a very low rate of returns, and therefore, these are taxable at some point of time, and therefore, probably the returns are not really commensurate with what they would need. But liquidity at least is good. You can, within 24 hours, you can get the money and you can spend the money. Now, that is a better thing than property for liquidity. Insurance is something which we should not look as investment. Insurance, we should not expect return of an insurance in our lifetime. Insurance is a must-have, but it is not an investment tool. I'll come to that in more detail. So what is the dime? There is a formula of insurance. This formula is, there are thumb rules. Dime is debt, expenses, income, mortgage, and education. So we have to factor in. The best way to find an ideal coverage of life insurance of a person is to add up your financial obligations and subtract whatever you have in your saving account, current account, etc., etc. That is the amount of money which actually financial obligation, which your children's education, your children's marriage, your old age, your wife's old age, etc., etc. You say you need 5 crore rupees, or you have a projected target of 8 crore rupees, and that is the way. And you have 1 crore in your bank or 50 lakh in your bank. You can say, okay, I have 7.5 crores need. I have 50 lakh in bank and or liquid funds. Therefore, I need 7.5 crores to kind of get through in life if something happens to me. Basic thumb rule is 10 times your current income. Now, that can be very variable. It is easy way to start for somebody who is earning like 10 lakh rupees a year in a residency. may think at that point of time their worth is around 1 crore a year, 1 crore of life insurance, but they at that point of time are not ready. I think the ideal time to get ready for your insurance is as soon as you get married, and at that point of time, whatever your family income is, husband, wife, etc., etc., multiply it by 10 to 20 times. In a younger age, multiply it by 20 times and then get insured. So it may cost a bit slightly more, but the term insurance will actually be very, very cheap at a very young age. And that is the way to start your life if you can at that point of time. And you can always buy two insurances. So you can always get into a second one at a certain stage of life. So I consider, and all of us, we should teach our children not to invest in money back policies in life insurance. You should take one insurance and it should be a hedge against death, period. It is not required for anything else. It may have certain riders, and these riders are critical care illness riders, disability coverage, long-term care. You can add that into a term insurance. But the basic ballpark is to have a term insurance. If our children, they start having thoughts of, they understand that there is an end to life, they will start understanding investment in life also. So buy a term insurance first. I would suggest all my youngsters. Ideal term cover is between 30 to 40 is equal to home loan, vehicle loan, business debt plus 15 times the annual income. This is the ideal term cover. So if you earn 1 lakh or 10 lakh rupees a year, it should be at least 1.5 crores plus all the loans which you have, which is say 1 crore rupees. So at point of 10 lakh rupees a year, you must have 2.5 crore rupees of term insurance, and that is how you should start. But I will come to other issues. Ideal term between 30 to 40 years is this. What I feel is this much. Ideal term cover between 40 to 50 years should be home loan plus business debts plus 10 times the annual income. So between 40 to 50 years, people are settled down reasonably well. They are earning reasonably well. They are trying to be there in their career. They have almost reaching their peak of career. So that time of their vehicle loan has usually gone. Their business debts may have risen. Actually, they might have started a hospital or a nursing home. Their home loan may be going down, and therefore, and their income must have gone up. So 10 times annual income is a lot of money. So somebody earning 1 crore a year or 1.2 crores a year should have a 10 to 12 crore term insurance if they are buying it between 40 to 50. If you are between 50 to 60, actually your once income, your insurance premium goes very high. So if you have any business debt left in your business, plus 5 times your annual income should be enough if you can afford it. It's very difficult to afford a late term cover because people are very, very, it becomes very expensive if you buy even 5 crore term cover at this age. Ideal term cover after the age of 60 is only business debt. You have finished off your responsibilities. Usually children are on the verge of getting married. They have already done their post-graduation or whatever. They have done, they are settled down, they have started earning most of the times. And therefore you are reasonably free. If any hospital related debts or home debts you have, which is amounting to a couple of crore rupees, I think that is more than enough for a insurance ideal cover so that you don't leave your family high and dry, all of a sudden in need of money if something happens to us. And remember always to take all the riders, especially the critical care and the cancer cover riders, the accident policy riders. They are very cheap actually. You get it at a much lesser price, but the good advantage of it is that they are much better than mediclaims. In mediclaim, you will see that the premium keeps going up as we grow older. And at the age of 65, 70, they hardly are able to, the premium stops and you are absolutely sometimes denied mediclaim. So in case you have taken a 85-year, 90-year term insurance, your critical care rider and your cancer cover rider and other riders, accident riders will stay. And they will give you a lump sum money, say 1.5 crores or 1 crore or 50 lakh rupees, if a declared event has happened in your life, which can be very fatal. And that gives money and liquidity to the family, at the same time continues the insurance cover, which gives a lot of solace to family because they have financial liquidity for treatment, and you or me, we don't become burden on our families. So who is the best insurer? The institutions with largest market cap is a ballpark way of understanding, and institutions with lowest debt and robust management. We need to do a little bit of survey, but and institutions with lowest NPAs. So these are 4 very non-performing assets. These are very, very important, and claim settlement ratio and claim settlement time. Now, claim settlement ratio and claim settlement time are two equally important things. If the ratio is very good, they are 95, 99% claim settlement ratio, but we take 2 years to settle the ratio and the time to settle the insurance, the family might get completely disillusioned by that time and something may happen. So both are equally important. And amongst these, the top spot goes to the nationalized insurer, which is LIC. And I think HDFC is the second one, which is in the private space, which is probably competing with LIC neck to neck and has better claim settlement time compared to claim settlement ratio, which is also quite close. So remember one thing very clearly. Insurance is not an investment, it is a hedge. It is a hedge against death. That is a very, very important. So now I'll come to the saving part of our life. And these are all thoughts which I have had. I've not gone through any books of economics. It's all life teaching, which I have learned in the last 30 years. And it has been a part of my orthopedic journey also. I have made so many mistakes, and these are the mistakes which are coming out today. It depends on when you start saving. So my formula is simple but very, very tough to follow. I have not followed it, but I will definitely ask our children, and especially who are doctors, to follow it when they are young, in their 30s or in their late 29 and 30 and 35. So saving is equal to 100 minus age plus minus 10%. Now I'll give you the breakup. So if you earn 100 rupees minus the age is say 35, plus minus 10%, it is better that you stick to the age part. So you spend 35 rupees out of 100 rupees you earn, and you save 65 rupees. Now that kind of fiscal discipline, if you are having, saving may go into an investment in the hospital, saving may go into an investment into a business, saving may go into an investment into equity, it may go into some other investment, but save. And only 35 rupees should be spent out of that on your lifestyle and your day-to-day survivorship. That is a tough act to follow, but if you follow it, I'm sure our children, by the time they are 40, they'll be very, very independent. The doctor especially. At less than 40 years, if you are not owning something, if you have not started investing in a hospital or a clinic, which generally people take time to mature, and because they are training, they are abroad, they are in UK, they are in US, they are coming back, settling down, children happening. So till that time, only first go for insurance and keep investing in the equities. Do not do anything else till the time you are really settled down in one place. Between 40 to 50, you start, all of us who have come back from abroad between 35 to 40, we build institutions. Sometimes we build businesses. We start our family businesses. We do something. That is the time you keep investing. So you have already invested in your long-term insurance. You've invested in some equities which are liquid. Now you can take the money and get into the institutions, businesses, etc., etc. Between 50 to 60, you consolidate the institutions. Whatever you have built in life, whatever you have built as a practice, you consolidate it, but keep investing. You see, keep investing is the mantra. You keep investing. You don't spend 100 rupees out of 100 rupees in your, that is bad show. That is very poor show. And between 50 to 60, you slowly start liquidating. You start enjoying the pleasures of life. Doctors' life pleasures actually come very late. Our life pleasures are not like having a honeymoon in Switzerland all the time. They are different. We are different people. We are different breed of people. We have come up very hard way. But we must start liquidating and settling into spending some money in various things we want to do, playing, etc., etc. 60 to 70, you start giving. This is a very important time of life. You have to start giving back, and that is also a part of liquidation process. But at the same time, if you remember my mantra, 100 minus age is equal to whatever you want to. So 100 age is what you spend. So between 60 to 70, you can keep spending 60 to 70% of your money, and you can still keep investing 30-35% of your money. That is going to keep giving you the growth in the long run. After 70, give and liquidate, but keep investing. Whatever you have, even 10% if you save, you invest. Because investment will never stop. You learn from people like Warren Buffett. He may not be a doctor, but I think there are a lot of life lessons he has taught us. to learn from people like who are actually even investing at the age of 90. Now they don't need money. Their money is beyond them and they are beyond money. But they invest because it is a social responsibility also to keep the society growing by your own investments. So the mantra which I have is money saved is money earned. You have to save in order to be absolutely this thing. Invest or perish. Never wait for tomorrow. We love our skill, work, and ego. Money is what runs the world and our family needs. The only and the most honorable goal in life should be an honorable death, leaving our families debt free. The world a better place. This can all happen if we all work towards the goal. We need to make our generations aware of the following: fend for a future, get over insured for term life, invest in other business till they start their own, keep investing till death or disability. Financial nirvana is to live and to reach a station in life when one practices his or her skill for real pleasure of it rather than its monetary return. And the faster we reach there, the better it is. To be able to spend on pleasures and charity alike without asking or remorse. So, should we do charity? Absolutely, we must. When and how much is our life to decide and our earnings? No, I have absolutely no reason for one reason to say we should not do charity. We must contribute to our association, to our society to make it grow. Stay safe, stay invested. Thank you very much. Long live IOA, long live WBOA. Stay invested in life, friendship, society, charity, honor commitments, mankind, national pride, invested in the beneficial and long-term goals in career and growth. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the nice, very structured, mantras for become a financially healthy people. So I think after this, may I now request Dr. Rajiv Chatterjee, sir, to say a few words regarding our personal well-being, self and family well-being.
How do I come out of this? Just a minute.
Stop share, I think.
On the top.
Yeah, I'm trying that. I'm trying that. Just a minute.
This meeting is being recorded.
This is
By the time let me remind that viewers that we are live. Okay. So we are also live on Ortho TV, so viewers can see us on Ortho TV as well. And Dr. Ashok Syam is also with us, who is actually the owner of Ortho TV. So thank you, Ashok, for giving us the opportunity in live Ortho care. So you can share your screen.
Okay. Just hang on 1 minute. This has gone completely crazy. 1 minute. Okay. Hi.
Vikas, your talk has a very good talk, Vikas Kapoor.
Thank you, sir.
So your talk is on this our Ortho TV also.
I think so, sir.
Recorded in the Ortho TV, or?
I think so. They are recording it, sir.
Yeah, it's there in the Ortho TV, YouTube, both you can visit.
Yeah, this is very useful for the country.
Okay, shall I get started? Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir, please.
Okay, so basically we'll talk about our health of us and our family. And next few minutes, I'm going to share with you what I learned discussing with a mental health specialist and a few of our colleagues who are into physical health. So health, if we divide broadly, can we divide it into either mental well-being or a physical well-being? The physical well-being can be again subdivided into exercise and diet. And this is the path I'm going to take. And in that, I'm going to take a huge chunk on mental well-being, because we all think about our physical well-being. Very few of us think about our mental well-being. The pandemic has had a huge impact on our mental health because of loss of sense of safety and security, loss of predictability. I did not know what I'll be doing next day. It happened to me for the last 6 months. Loss of a feeling of control. We as surgeons are control freaks. We love to control, but then with this pandemic round, we lost control of our lives and our surrounding. Along with it, there was always this fear at the back of our mind. Am I going to get this illness? If I get this illness, have I to stop working and isolate myself? Do I have to face death? Not only of myself, of my close relatives. I have lost I have lost 3 brother-in-laws. In fact, one died holding my hands in the ICU. It was really traumatic to me because my sister thought I would bring him back. It was a great, difficult time. The next fear is fear of children's education disruption. I think all of us who have had children running through going to uni, as my child went to uni last year, it was a terrible time trying to work out whether or not he will be able to start his education a lot. Even if he starts it, what is going to happen to him? How is he going to cope with uni education? And I really pity people who have children in class 10 and class 11, because the future, we still don't know what's going to happen. The next problem we have already discussed, the fear of scarce resources. Few of us who have not hedged our funds, have not invested, have not saved, have had a lot of difficult times. And all this has caused a change in a daily routine, especially change in sleep cycle. Believe me personally, I was okay after my child went off to uni. My resources were okay. But then I was waking up at 7 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, which I never did before. I always am a 5:36 wake up, but it was happening 7:30 because I had nothing to do. So I started things like sweeping the floor, cleaning the house, because there was nothing else to do. So this caused inherent feeling of, as if something was missing in my life. Along with it, having to work as frontiers, providing healthcare services, being called in, having these patients with neck of femurs, tibias, sharp femurs with COVID positive patients. You wear those gowns, go in, you can't see anything. You have to operate half the time with your visors fogging up. You don't know how many times you got exposed. In the first wave, I literally didn't meet my parents, my mother, my in-laws for about 6 months. Actually, my mother was stuck in Ranchi for 5 months because every time I planned to bring her back from Ranchi, I used to get exposed to some patient with a positive, COVID positive patient. And that caused a lot of stress to me. And being unable to bring my mother back, who was all alone in Ranchi. The next problem also is when you get your relatives together, getting worried about them because your elder relatives were cloistered in a separate place. You couldn't meet them. So they were feeling very lonely. The children, they were demanding attention, but you couldn't give them the love and affection they would love to, because you come back from your work, you have to take a bath, you have to stay separate, you get exposed, means you go into isolation. So this continuous cycle of isolation, non-isolation, and it was taking a toll on the family. And of course, the financial, huge cutoff on surgeries disrupted the financial income. And the biggest problem for me, more than finances, was the competence. Once your numbers start coming down and you're faced with a difficult problem and you haven't done it for about maybe 6 months, and with the number of cases coming down, there was this competence issue started happening in my mind. And all of this caused stress. So stress is the body's reaction to a threat. In this case, was all these problems. And this stress caused anxiety. And this anxiety caused all the problems, sleeplessness, the feeling of being redundant, and actually brought down my own skills. So how did I cope with them? I sat down, spoke with a a friend who's a mental health specialist, and she said, okay, just sit down, think about things that you can control. Things you can't control, forget about them. Control, engage, and gradually take them one at a time. So to have a good well-being, first, I balanced my personal and professional priorities and values. Here noted that since my professional life wasn't going anywhere, my personal life had to take precedence. So more time to the family. I've never been so much time with my children and my family. More so, I never knew that my house had so many corners to clean. I did not know that I had accumulated so much of worthless papers which I had to clean out. So all these came out in this pandemic. Focus on the most promising and personally meaningful areas of my work. In this case, my financial planning was not in very good shape. I got it right. My income tax planning, I got it right. I got my mother's finances right, my in-laws' finances right. So I just went around getting all this sorted out during the pandemic. Along with it, I periodically reassessed what I enjoyed most in my work. So I thought about it and thought I enjoy teaching most. And so I got into this webinar business till I got bored stiff with them, but at least that kept me employed because my mind worked and I love teaching. Most important thing, protect and nurture relationships at home, with your wife, with your family, with your children, with your in-laws, with your parents, with your sister, brother, everybody. So every day I was on the phone, I was on the WhatsApp calls, group calls, nearly every week, at least for 3 to 4 hours every day. This kept me sane. In fact, I set up 2 weekend calls, one with my in-laws and one with my other extended part, my father's side of the family, for at least half an hour, so that everybody stayed connected and everybody said, Rajiv, that is a wonderful idea. We feel great after that call. So this has been going on for the last 1.5 years, that every Saturday we meet up people all over the globe, Australia, America, Germany, UK, and India. We all get together on a Zoom meet every Saturday, 8 to 8:30. We just chit chat, talk about old stuff. My mother-in-law actually has had a stroke and she's bedbound for last 6 months with a nasogastric tube, and it's all tubes and bed sore care. I can see the happiness in her eyes those half an hour. And that's the great pleasure I've had to do, which I wouldn't have done if the pandemic hadn't come up. Develop hobbies and use vacations. Vacations are no longer around. So hobbies, I think Dr. Sardar is going to talk about, Indrajit is going to talk about how to develop hobbies. And along with it, get your sleep right, get proper exercise and nutrition. I'm coming to that next. Define and protect one day in a month where you sit down and reflect what you have done right, what you could do better. One of the ways to chill out, to sort of take your stresses off, is this 2005 years old thing called mindfulness. And this is what we did last time, if you remember, in our arthroplasty meet, which actually you focus your mental stress to your own awareness at the present moment, cut off everything else, and slowly touch each part of your body with your mind. Slowly open your body out, your mind out, and that really relaxes out. It's a wonderful thing to do. Mindfulness actually increases your quality of life, decreases emotional exhaustion, actually improves immune function, and optimizes emotional reactivity to stresses. Now, of course, during this time, I had times when I had anger, irritation, things didn't go right. I had ordered for something else came. So my children were irritating me. So at that time, a couple of things too, which we have done before. Slow breathing for a few minutes, counting backwards. Try to distance your thoughts that make you anxious. Think of something nice. Think of something calm and serene. Slow down your mind. That will take care of your anger, irritation. And remember, once you control your mind, you will no longer feel lonely or sad. If you feel lonely or sad, all your friends, I am there. Call me up any point of time. That was a message to all my friends and all my family. Even now, my school friends call me up. They don't call me orthopedic doctor. They call me just get to doctor. Bhai, ye takleef ho raha hai. Can you help me out? Ya maza nahi aa raha. Can you help me out? So we just talk. And this talking helps to de-stress everybody. So during this, if you have a problem, you ask yourself, what is under your control? Do it. Am I unnecessarily worrying about worse things that can happen? How have we managed in the past? We have managed these problems in the past. How do it now? What is so different? And what are things I can do to help myself be positive? Focus on new learning skills, give more family time, and more important, focus on long-awaited projects, which Dr. Sardar is going to take us through. The project he has done is a wonderful project. I wish I could have done something like that. So stress management, in a nutshell, basically, You can do exercises, music, stay connected, pick up a hobby, yoga, entertainment. I see Netflix every day. Believe it or not, every day, half an hour. Netflix lasts 1 year. It really de-stresses me. Night 10 to 10:30 is Netflix time. My phone is off. Therapy is important. If you feel you're losing it, the therapist. And most important is time management. Get your time management right. So after you manage your stress, come to exercises. And this is the first classification which I've stolen from his presentation. The type 1 who don't exercise since time immemorial, or since the time he or she became busy. That's me. Type 1, 1B is me. I used to exercise till I became busy. Type 2, occasional exercises, out of home or inside home. And type 3, a regular one, do out of home, inside home. And the writers here are people with metabolic disorders, cardiopulmonary disorders, or other musculoskeletal disorders. So you find out which group you fit into, and then you start. When you start your journey of exercises, remember, you have to forget your past. What you didn't do or what you did doesn't matter. I mean, I used to do 30 push-ups before. I can't do 5. So I'm a bothered no, but still I'll do them now. Remember your injuries. I have had a couple of back sprains, bad back sprains, bit of sciatica. So I know I can't do back strain exercises. Do not overdo things. Talk to your physiotherapist before you start, especially if she's a good-looking young one. Sorry, that's a bad joke. She'll help you with, or he will help you with what you wants to do, which not to do. And just be silent on social media. You start strutting or you want to do on your social media or what you have been doing, you actually stop exercising. You'll be talking more on social media. What are the choices? Walking. This is what I do regularly every evening, 7 to 7:30, 8 o'clock. The whole family goes up. We do it on the roof. We are unmasked and we set targets. I started off doing 4,000 steps in 45 minutes. And I do 6,000. My aim is doing 8,000 in 1 hour. My wife started over 3,000. Now she does about 6,000 in 1 hour. So each one sets his own or her own targets. But if you're doing walking outside in the common area, please be masked. I know it's difficult. I know breathing is difficult, but please don't go out without a mask. Cycling, I tried it out with a helmet and masking. Unfortunately, none of my family cycle, but I believe that exercise should be a family get together. So I stopped cycling because nobody goes out to cycle other than myself. I occasionally do it early morning when I'm alone. Weight training with bottles, books for dumbbells. Use your Campbell to good use. And the thing I found great was this workout. My daughter got it for us when she was here last year. Workout music videos. The girl on the video is really good looking. So, and she does fantastic stuff. I try to follow and I say, oh God, she can do it. I cannot. I feel bad, but still I try to do 30%. That is good enough. My daughter introduced me to these workout videos and they have really helped me tone myself up without me becoming a muscular person. So exercises subclassification, summing up is a maintenance ones, average Joe blocks like me, bit of jogging, bit of exercises, or build up guys like Sonja, Shane or Tito who build up muscles. I can't go into that group. Diet, eat outs have stopped, but then order outs have replaced them. So our food habits have remained the same, unfortunately, but I have tried to go more into salads, fruits and nuts. They help us, our metabolism, they help us to get our antioxidants right, get our health right. Along with exercise, a good diet is very important. So in the end, let's discuss what a life of busy orthopod pre-COVID time was. It was surgery, WhatsApp post-surgery, OPD, rounds, more surgery, more WhatsApp, discuss the case on WhatsApp, more OPD, and earning loads of money, but just doing the same thing over and over again, 7 days. Weekends, seminars, workshops, conferences with loads of fluids and unhealthy diet thrown in. The real stuff, me time, family, friends, recreation, hobbies, crammed into small weekends. That's what we were doing pre-COVID. Where was the time for exercise and proper diet? Where was the time for mental reset? It was all this chasing your tail. Control of my body. Along with it, controlling my diet, this has been made me take control of my whole life. So with that, I say thank you to everybody. Remember, a peaceful mind and a tuned body gives you nirvana. Thank you. I'll just stop sharing. Stop share. Thank you, everyone.
I think it was nice about overview about self and family health. I think we would lot look forward to, obeying at least part of this instruction which you have given or advice you have given. So, may I now invite Dr. Indrajit Sardar sir, who is probably in the pinnacle of his professional life. So probably he will be talking the best person to see how the life is beyond professional life, sir.
Yeah, I'm trying to share my screen. Give me a second. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the start of the Bone and Joint Week, the Bone and Joint Day, which we all know about. And this is one of the first things that I did on the directions of the Indian Orthopedic Association. Basically to use this logo and make yourself one of the Indian Orthopedic Association, which happens to be one of the best associations in the world. And doing that, I was told to so the life beyond professional life. So this is what I have to talk about, and let's see how we can go about it. The professional life and others, as Rajiv has said, Vikas has also mentioned, short word, it occupies all your time. You're first learning, then you're practicing, then you're establishing, then you're teaching, your administrative work goes as you climb up the official. Now, together with that is the family who's slowly growing up. Children's education is a huge thing. As the children grow up, it changes and think of career prospects and all that. And then health, as we've talked about, and has also talked about. We talked about the finances part. So this is basically the professional life.
There is a background noise, sir. I think. Arnab, can you mute everybody? So that...
Okay. So now it's funny enough, but we do have areas in the brain which gets out to this. And this is what is known as the BMPFI region in the frontal lobe.
There is some sound problem.
So this is the region of the frontal lobe where the whole thing gets up. And these are the areas which this gives a stress relief and inhibits us. Together with that, there are other portions of the olfactory lobe and all, and the neural system in the interconnections, and that, funnily enough, is activated by taking care of one's own young. So these are areas of the brain which can be developed by all this and which develop slowly and surely. These are the areas which are there. There is a neurological explanation for all that you are doing. Social connectivity is important. We all know that. But on top of that, it's been clearly proved that social connectivity is linked to better immunity, improved stress resilience, and even longer life. So we need the social connectivity. That is important, of course. And Mark Twain had said this, and this is a most important observation. The two most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. And these two really guide our lives. Once we get to know these two, we remember our birthdays. We can never find out our death days, but we can find out the day where we find out why we are alive. And that is an important thing which helps you to understand why you are here in this world and for what purpose. There is something called alone time, which Rajiv mentioned. And as Oprah Winfrey said, there's no other more public person than her. She said, alone time is when I distance myself from the voices of the world. so I can hear my own. And this own voice is important. We have to listen to ourselves. We are a person by ourselves. We have come alone to this world and we really go out alone. But in between, there is you who have learned, who have developed yourself, and who have reached a state with experience. And it's time you listen to yourself. So that's where you need this alone time, alone with yourself. But then it's important, when will you get the alone time? How will you get the alone time? And where will you get the alone time? So looking at this alone time, keep 1 hour for exercises of the body and mind. And that is extremely important. Let nothing interfere with that. It's difficult to do. It's extremely difficult to practice for days on end, but this is the target. We all have to keep 1 hour for exercises of the body and mind. No mobile phones, no family matters, no relatives. You can do it late at night, you can do it early in the morning. At that time, you can do your exercises, freehand, yoga, massage, whatever. That is also the reading time, orthopedic journals, books, even virtual articles. But the bottom line is this: nobody can take that time. And that you have to insist on. Go for a walk alone. Why a walk alone? As Ratan Tata said, if you want to walk fast, walk alone. But if you want to walk far, walk together. And if you want to walk fast initially, walk alone. Because then you can focus on you. You don't have, there is no pressure. You don't have to listen or respond to jokes. You don't have to listen to conversations or respond to that. You don't have to compromise on the route. You go wherever you want to, however you want to. You don't have to think about anything or anyone. You don't want to. Reduced noise makes reflection easier also. And finally, there is no running away from conversations with yourself. You are important, and that's a theme which I'm so glad that Dr. Shiv Shankar has said. Save one, save yourself. Since movie halls are closed, an OTT movie late at night by yourselves, that Rajiv has pointed out, you read a book alone. Why not say a movie alone on your TV, computer, mobile? There's so much scope nowadays. And you will see that all these characters will come into your sitting room and side with you and stay around you. And in every movie, you can find some little message which gets across to you. And in that, looking at those messages, that small little messages, sometimes you have to wait for hours to get it, sometimes it's obvious. You will discover you. And that is the most important thing that one can have. Plan your social work. No consultation fee or treatment charges, the charity work that Vikas was talking about. But make sure that is your decision, your action. People will surround you, people will come with different propositions, people will be there. But you stay alone in your corner and take this planned social work by yourself. Once you've done that, that's a very pleasing thing, and the satisfaction that you have is immense. But do it. And then, of course, you can write, draw, paint, play, blog, do whatever you like, stay creative. Exactly do whatever you like. It doesn't matter whether it's wrong, bad, ugly, some work of genius, but do what you like, because that's a release of your tension, release of your energy, and a release of something important, because you are you again on this point. Write professional articles or otherwise. This is good because this pandemic has given you a lot of time to read up, to look at all your data, to collect all the data, and finally, look at professional articles or otherwise. And you can write anything you want to, and also concentrate on the professional articles, that journal, that article you're meaning to write for years on end, but never did. In alone time, orthopedic surgeons do so many things apart from orthopedics, and we have a huge list of us. We have Dr. Buddhadev Chatterjee, who paints, and how well he paints and sings. And Vikas, you saw, sings and lectures on financial management. We have Subhash Bala, Chandrachud, and Ravi Bharadwaj making up the first and probably the only orthopedic rock band in the world. We have Shondendu Shamanto brings out a book of the original poetry. which matches his orthopedic achievements. And Bhaskar Das writes travel books and recites and takes wonderful photographs. Dr. Gautam Gasul's photography is legendary because he's a member of the Royal College of Photographers Association, and which is more difficult to get in as more difficult than an FRCS. Dr. Abhijit Sharvadikari travels on how he's been to practically all corners of the world. Tirthankar is well known for his marvelous and prolific poems, as for his orthopedic skills and examples in fitness. Dr. acts regularly on the amateur stage. Dr. Devapi Roy has published 4 books. We have Anandopal, Anjan Chattaraju sings, as does Dr. Anil Gupta, and Protusha sings so well we know for ages, and etc., etc., etc. So in alone time, orthopedic surgeons are doing many things. They are discovering their alone time throughout the years, and we all hope that everybody does that. Go on a photo trip, see nature around you, and you can see everything, the mountains, the rivers, the jungles, the roads. And on a photo trip, capture your memories, because that will give you a great insight, and you will feel away from your work and yet in life. And again, the fundamental thing remains. Amongst that trip, you will again discover yourself. Review your old photos. And I was looking at this, and this was the time I went to the doors, and this was one of the first photographs I took there several years back. And this misty, rainy thing, and looking at it, I felt, God, I'm feeling that cold wind. I'm feeling the raindrops on my hands. This is in Masai Mara, and that also gives you a broader aspect of what you are, a part of this universe, a part of life, which includes wildlife, and you are that. And then all these associations, this is the Howrah Haddi group, this was at Dr. M.S. Ghosh's birthday party several years back. And then ICON, that was with Dr. Bakshi, but this, and the camaraderie that was there, we did a great job for the ICON 2019. And everybody chimed in, everybody came in with their efforts. And therefore we were able to demonstrate once again that this was social connectivity in a big way. But at the same time, each one of us found the impression that we have done something worthwhile by ourselves. Remember the West Bengal Orthopedic Association on Photography in 2012? That was a smashing success, and we raised almost rupees 4 lakhs for scholarships. But what was more important, that various surgeons chipped in from all corners with their favorite hobby of photography. And I think Arnav Karnukar was a very junior person at that time, and he and Shubhajit Das contributed, as did the older ones from Deepak Roy Chaudhary, and so many persons. And we had a great exhibition, and still many of those photographs are hangs in Nightingale Hospital still today. Is alone time loneliness? Are we lonely? We have made sure that social isolation and loneliness increase the risk of heart disease, obesity, anxiety, depression, Alzheimer's disease, high blood pressure, and even early death. Yet, doing things by yourself allows you to enjoy activities you love at your own pace and in your own way. And through these solitary pursuits, you learn more about yourself and you reflect on your experiences. With so many online courses available on the net, many orthopedic surgeons are turning to music courses, painting, writing, and so many other things. And 2 of the persons who really started writing well, Dr. Chinmay Nath, Dr. Anurita Pittonia, you can see their things on Facebook which they post, which makes such an enjoyable read. And then innovation. If you always do what you always did, you will always get what you always got. It is not that it falls to every person to create something new. That is given to a few, a blessed few. But at the same time, it is necessary for the rest of us to take that new, to take and apply all the principles discovered and all the methodologies discovered and hone that thing and make it a bigger place, better place. And that's where you get it. At a farewell, Dr. Tapan Dasgupta, general surgery, he said that it is only the few who get the chance to create, but the rest practice what they do. And by practicing, You become better and better. Your patients get better and better. And you increase or help the profession get better and better. So this is a journey we are all doing by ourselves. And in this journey, the destination is unknown. We don't know exactly where you're going to end up with. And that's why
তবু তোমার কথার সুর দেখো বাজছে আমার বেসুরো জীবনে তুমি কোথায় নিরুদ্দেশ তবু তোমায় ছোঁয়ার রেশ আমার একলা জীবন মুহূর্ত জানে আজ রাত্রি যখন আসে জীবন খানিক হাসি বলে পারবি না তো ছুটে তুই আর একটা আজও স্বপ্নে তোমায় খুঁজি বড় আশায় চোখ খুঁজি ভাবি না দু চোখ জুড়ে সেই আদর
And here we're practically like little paper boats in the river, going by ourselves or sometimes not by ourselves, knowing how to float and moving on in life. We control our destination to some aspects, but not all of it. We are a victim of circumstances also. But that's where we are, not only as orthopedic surgeons, but as human beings. And it is there that we turn to the great Rabindranath Tagore. So in this great journey of life that we all are blessed to be in, look at yourself, look at us, but finally and all the time, be creative. Thank you so much for all of you for giving me this opportunity of talking on this. And thanks the Orthopedic Association. May we have a great bone and joint day. But remember that we have to look after ourselves and know ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Excellent lecture. I think we really need to follow these footsteps. So I think, may I now invite Dr. M.M. Rai, sir, to talk about the work and life balance. So M.M. Rai, sir, you can share your screen.
Yeah, I'm just sharing. Yeah.
Yes.
Can you see it?
Yes. Yes.
Can you see?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Sunit, can you see? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for Orthopedic Association, but I'm really honored to have for being invited to talk a few words on very special day, 4th August, Bone and Joint Week of West Bengal or Indian Orthopedic Association. Work-life balance. Actually, what happens by all previous speakers, they have covered all the areas. I think I have very little to say to balance the work life. What is work-life balance? Actually, there's no clear definitions, directions, or recommendations. It is just individual perceptions. Work-life balance will be understood better if we know what is normal life. It is also confusing. It's a complex concept. Normalcy for you and me are totally different. What is normal for you, that may not be normal for me. You have your own normal lifestyle, which varies at different stage of life, at a younger age and older age, in a bachelor life and married life is totally different. So normal lifestyle that is constantly changing. So changing lifestyle is inevitable because you know this in change in your work. If we divide our life, that is in work uh, domain and in your non-working domain. Work domain, that is actually your work, and your non-work domain, that is your family life or private life or home life, whatever you call it. In change in your work, homework, I mean work domain, you started your life probably as a house surgeon or a junior resident, then to a resident, then you consultant, a junior consultant, senior consultant, or a faculty, junior faculty, right? Senior faculty like professors, or a administrator, or a researcher. So in all stages, your lifestyle is changing. Similarly, in your family life or private life, that is also changing. Say about you when you were bachelor, the chemistry was different, and then when you got married and your kids are growing, they're in school, then college, then they are in service life, they're settled either here or abroad. So at that time, your family life also changes, and activities are not matching with work which was present initially. That does not match. So, but we need a happy family life. What is that? That is a balance between work domain and non-work domain. That will have to be very much careful that it should not overlapping. There should not be any overlapping. You know, in non-work domain, that is your private life, there are a lot of things. One of the most important thing is that family role. You'll have to do many things. I will come to that. Your hobby is there, as beautifully been described by our Indrajit. Music, arts, gardening, travel, and so many things are there. And personal health, you can think of a bodybuilder or your sports activities or your social service or voluntary service. These are all for your pleasure in non-work domain. But there are, my main role is the family role. But the others, there are things in subconscious mind which you cannot play actually. Happy in work domain, in work domain, your status is also, the professional status is increasing, your financial, hello, can you hear? Yeah. Financial status increasing, you are becoming a
Please continue, sir.
public figure. So that's not work life requires more time. And if you work more, you will be physically and mentally mentally exhausted, and naturally family care and personal care will suffer. And the reverse is also true. If you concentrate more on your private life, your work, actual work will hamper definitely. How to balance? Time management. The most important thing is the time management. You must not compromise one thing, that is your sleep, 6 to 8 hours a day in 24 hours. Of course, that varies. And next is the meeting your family members, your grocery shopping, housework, your caring child and parent, that to be about 2 to 4 hours. And your hobbies or pets for 1 to 2 hours. Your transport from home to your workplace, that might take about 1 hour time, or on an average like that. You should have some free time for an hour, and professional work should not be more than 8 to 10 hours, I think so. Ambitious work life, actually more workload you have. If you are a very busy practitioner, suppose you are doing surgeries, 4 or 5 surgeries a day, but you are a reputed person and a reputed doctor, your demand is much more, that everybody is coming to you. So if you do surgery 10 to 15 per day, then you can manage to some extent. But it is not possible. If you do so, you'll be heavily loaded mentally and physically fatigued. So look for a good, trusted colleague who can help you and share your load. Or in other words, the group practice may be an alternative for that. So if you do not balance it in that way, your work domain and non-work domain will be in imbalanced situations. So be careful about that. So that is, and make a list of important things to do in next 24 hours. Tomorrow, what I'll do, that to be chalked out beforehand or planned, for how much you will give your family time, how much your exercises, important project proposal tomorrow you'll have to do, or anything you decide, and make a practice to say no. That means you have made a plan in 24 hours, but suddenly you find that somebody requested you to be present in a meeting like that, not so much important, but don't agree to be present over there. Simply you say boldly, no, I don't have time now. You tell me, and I will come to that there after 7 days or 10 days like that, whenever you feel free. So say no is very important. I know Dr. M.S. Ghosh, you know, he will never entertain any telephone call other than 8 to 9 a.m. in the morning. Before that, simply he will not talk to you. So that is a fixed time, and other program he will never do. That is a very big good one for anybody. So next is that if you are not in a good health, everybody has talked about the health beautifully. Dr. Rajiv, Indrajit, and others have beautifully. If you are not in good health, you cannot make others happy. So self-care is important, and healthy lifestyle to reduce stress, to achieve work-life balance. Eat well, sleep well, regular physical exercises. Indrajit has beautifully explained what type of exercises and what type of walking. Walk is a variety of walking, but I have a little reservation that there is one time you can work together with your family, other family members. You can have some gossip where you can share some things. That is one. That is so about the diet. You must be very careful. Be it at least three meals should be very nutritious. At least breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Hobby for relaxation. Relaxation is important. Pick up one hobby which is also liked by your family partner, because your hobby is music, but your partner may not have. But somebody has, I mean, you are interested in painting, but your partner, uh, he sees also interested in painting. So go for and share it. So some kind of sacrifice is required in this matter for relaxation and choosing the actual hobby. Like gardening. I like gardening. My wife, she also likes it, and we can share it, and that's a good relaxation for both of us. Relax, discover activities which your partner and can participate also, like yoga, dancing. Everybody say like that. This is a good exercise as well as entertainment. Relax for a having short or long tour periodically. Maybe short tour monthly once you can have a short tour or a long tour. Weekend dinners outside with your family members. That gives you really pleasure, particularly when the ambience is good and relaxing. You can share. Relax in festivals, Holi. Holi you can, that is also relaxing. Fishing, I like fishing as well in my garden. Photography. Photography really that gives you, that relaxes you, and that is a wonderful way. And you can think of whether your photography is good, or you can learn. Those who are good photographers, if you have an interest, they can make it in, take it in other level, and you can go for exhibiting in any other competition. Volunteering to help others in society. This really helps to improve connections with others, because you need many friends and many persons who like you, and where you can help others. There is also better life satisfaction. Keep good relations with others, particularly your relatives. Usually, sometimes we neglect our relatives sometimes, because both of you have to stay outside for official purpose. Who will take care of your kids? It is your relatives or trusted friends. So keep good relations with them, and you should have good friends around you. Your personal desire in non-work dream. Apart from your family role, you have some other role which you cannot play, like social service, your other hobbies, new ideas. Social service, I can remember that really I had some lot of desire to go for the social service, do some social services. When I was young and joined Bankura Medical College, I was a man of orthopedics, but I was posted in blood bank. What to do? That time no work, so I was really fed up with the service. So what I did, along with the help of a medical students, I organized a team, voluntary blood donation team. So what we did, we used to go many other surrounding places, there villages and some local areas, awareness program. They used to come there and voluntarily donate blood. And in that way, we the arrangement was such that there was no scarcity of blood in Bankura Medical College blood bank. And that was really helpful, and that came in the media many times. And thinking that district magistrate helped us by giving us a special car, vehicle for that. You may involve in such activities, provided your family members like that and your work domain is not disturbed. Sometimes it happens you are so emotional, you got involved in such activities that your main work and family life really is disturbed. For example, I thought that can I do something for others? I had a desire that whether I am only doing this medical practice and earning money and maintaining my family. Beyond that, can I do something for others? For some unemployed boys? For example, for that, I purchased small piece of land and an old closed dhaba on highway. I don't know what Vikas will say, that whether it is the right investment or like that, or bad investment, but I like that. Then I developed the dhaba and the land. And now it is the farming place behind and all locally. And that dhaba converted to a restaurant now. And many people visited that place. It is the front part of the dhaba on the highway, Durgapur Expressway. And rehabilitation of unemployed. These are the boys who are rehabilitated. There are 18 or 19 people, boys are there. Their families depend on these boys. Many VIPs visitors, including our BBA elected senior Dr. Solan Bhattacharya once visited that place along with our Dilip sir. Stressful job. After stressful job like in a OT, I need to relax. So relaxing after stressful job, I used to visit that place and for relaxation. That is with one of my classmates, Sujit Bhattacharya. He is now in Bardhaman in Faith Hospital. He's a physician. My family also enjoys it and for relaxation. These are two boys, you know, they are dropout boys, school boys, coming from very poor family. They are working here for cultivation or plantation and some new construction. But I thought that very young boy. But why they stop their education? So I thought my wife also was thinking that whether we can do something for that. We have arranged and their accommodation in our premises, and we have started their education in the night shift, and they are continuing it. So to conclude, work activities should be well planned and should have a boundary and must not invade non-work domain. Time management is important to limit activities both in work and non-work domain. Have good friends around you, both in work and non-work activities. Must spend sufficient time with family members and must talk daily to your children who are settled outside, which I do regularly. My kids are not here. They are one in USA and another in Japan. And every day evening, our time, one fixed time is there. And for half an hour, we talk. It is not the money which brings happiness. A balance of work and non-work activities can make you happy only. So to conclude once again, the creating work-life balance is a continuous process as your family interest and work-life change. Periodically, you examine your priorities and make changes if necessary to make sure you are in keeping on track. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the nice lecture. I think we really learned a lot about how to balance your work and life. And probably we are actually learning from our lectures as well, because this webinar was supposed to finish at 9:30. Probably we have saved about half an hour for ourselves. So we are learning to keep ourselves time for ourselves. So
thank you very much for giving a chance to talk in this platform.
Thank you, sir. Sir, can you unshare your screen, sir? Yes. So,
unshare, no? Yeah.
So I think now that we have come to the end of this webinar, I would like to thank all the participants and our guest, Dr. B. Sivsankar and Dr. Naveen Thakkar, for coming and sharing their presence with us, and would like to also thank Kanchana Bhattacharya and Partha Sarathi for having some inputs on this theme and webinar. And I would also like to thank all the speakers, Vikas Kapoor sir, Dr. Rajiv Chatterjee, Indrajit sir, and Dr. M. Rai sir. So, and of course, all the other IOA and WBO members for participation. And I think I need to mention especially two names, that is Arnab, who is probably working behind the scene, and it's because of him that all these webinars and everything runs so smoothly. And also Ashok for I think giving us the opportunity to share this webinar in his Ortho TV. So I think that concludes this webinar. So we can actually disperse. If anybody has any inputs, they can give us one or two
Dr.
words.
Dr. Majumdar, we'd like to hear something.
Yeah, actually, I was observing the talk by everybody, financial backup, this how to do this mindfulness business and creativity by our Indrajit Sardar. And most attractive that practical thing that has been came out is from Roy actually, because that was the practical leasing out of everything that you have acquired in your life for the bliss. So I was very much, I was thinking that whether will go for showing that farmhouse or not. That I was thinking in my mind, because that was the practical end point of the whatever you do in life, and that has got a final summation, just like river going into the sea. So philosophically, many things can be told about, but practically the balance you have shown, whether fishing or gardening, or this is not the important thing, but touching the hearts of the people, that is more important, that you have done in your life. And that is a lesson for everybody, that you love nature and love people. If you love people and nature, all sorts of stress and anxiety, worries, everything will go away. Even if you do not go for doing this meditation or anything, that will be your meditation. So thank you, Roy sir, that I am really very happy to find your talk very useful, very useful. You have got no movie, nothing, no pictures, nothing, but you touch the hearts of the millions. Thank you, Roy. And we love to see you again and again with that type of vibrations that you have shown today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, our president is there.
He's driving back.
Yeah.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Kanchan da.
কাঞ্চন নেই, কাঞ্চন আছে?
Kanchan is there. Kanchan is
এখন রাউন্ড
behind.
দিচ্ছ? তুমি এখন রাউন্ড দিচ্ছ?
No, he's in cart.
Not make mistake.